All right, so welcome to the DFW Real Estate Podcast. My name is Willie Brewer, and this is my co-host,
Charmaine Byers.
And we're here to give you market insight as well as to educate you on how to make the best decisions within real estate.
All right, and so we're talking about, is this a good time to buy in the DFW area?
So first, we're going to go over the market insights, just in general, whatever information that you have over the market, whether that be the average sales price, what you're seeing with interest rates here lately.
So I think we should pull that from like the Metroplex site.
Gotcha. Okay. So
they'll have like those ongoing.
All right. So for DFW Metroplex, the median price has gone down 2.2%, down to $399,000. As far as our active listings, we've seen them go up 37%. That is as of May 2025. We saw 2.5% less closings. And then we have about 4.7 months worth of inventory, which puts us in a buyer's market, which is a change from what we've seen over the last couple of years.
Right. So we're seeing more inventory in the market. It is a buyer's market, giving buyers more of an opportunity for, or more options for homes.
Right.
So we're seeing buyers who are just kind of hanging on the fence because they do have more options.
Right.
And then we also see buyers that just don't want to make a step right now. They don't want to get out there into the market, whether it be interest rates are not quite where they want to be, or just what's going on geopolitically. So there's a lot of different factors and reasons why, buyers aren't jumping the fence right now, but we do have more inventory. So that is a good thing. One thing you didn't talk about is the days on market. So we have about 86 days on market. So days on market for 54 days on market, and days to close, we're looking at about 32, which is pretty much average. You look at about 30 to 45 days to close on a property.
Yes.
So what does that mean for us? What does that mean for given these stats? What have you seen for your particular buyers or your clients?
One of the things that I've seen from my clients is the concern on whether it's a good time to purchase or not.
Right.
And whether the interest rates would be dropping anytime soon.
Right.
With clients looking at just whether it's a good time to purchase or not, what I found is they're sitting on the sidelines waiting for the interest rates to drop, thinking that the home prices are going to drop. And I think once we've educated people on some of the incentives out there and educated people on when the best time to buy, I think I've seen that increase of desire to purchase here in the current market. So currently, I think with my new buyers or first-time home buyers, they're expecting to have to put down 20%.
Right.
They're expecting to have this interest rate of 7%. They're expecting to get down payment assistance and come to the market with little to no money down, be it $2,000 to $3,000 out of pocket in some cases. And I think just the uneducatedness or not being aware of the different options for themselves has definitely put a damper on their plans.
Right.
So I've been overcoming that with the new builds. I think it's a great opportunity for them. And I have also been educating them on just in general, anytime that they can get into the real estate industry and purchase their own property, it's always going to be a good idea, because the 3 to 5 years down the road, it'll definitely be worth it. And if they wait for 3 to 5 years now, it's like compound interest. You're just losing out on that equity.
Opportunities.
Yeah.
So I agree with that. New construction is definitely a great opportunity to get buyers into a home. Right now, the builders are pretty much giving away. They have plenty of incentives for clients to take advantage of. So that's a great opportunity. There are builders across DFW that have incentives and different opportunities for a buyer to kind of get into that, what we call legacy building. So the moment you can get into home ownership is the quickest way for you to start to build your legacy and start building equity within that home.
Yes. Okay. So for my first time home buyers, one of my pro tips for you guys is definitely, we know that you want to get your dream home.
Right.
I do not want you purchasing your dream home off the bat just because most of the time your dream home is going to be $1 million. Me, I know mine is probably going to be about $5 million.
Right.
Do I have that home now? Heck no.
Right.
But the building of equity from the first 3 homes that we have had has definitely allowed me to accumulate equity to where it is a closer goal than what it previously was 5 years ago.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Now let's flip it on the seller side.
Mm-hmm.
So we have, quite a bit of listings right now because there is more inventory in the market.
Right.
What are you hearing from our sellers?
Man, that it's a tough market.
Yeah.
That our sellers are very frustrated with the market. It is the first time within about the last 10 to 12 years, I believe, that we've seen a struggle to get your home sold. That you're having to negotiate more, that you're having to give concessions and purchase buy down rates for buyers. I just hear a lot of frustration with sellers, and within that, I hear that same question of when is a good time to sell?
Right.
The right time to sell.
Right. And that's all going to depend on the individual and that family and what's going on in their life. That will be the ultimate factor in, if it's a good time to buy or sell. For a seller, you have to consider all of that. For buyers, I would say that it's always a good time to buy. If you can afford it, if you have the ability to purchase, now is the right time to purchase. What I would say for sellers is I am finding that I'm having to do a lot of educating at the listing appointments to kind of bring them down from the COVID era.
Right, absolutely.
Because right now, they
20 offers at a time.
Exactly.
20,000 over list price.
Exactly. All the things. And then, then pretty much being able to sell within an hour of listing.
Right.
Right now, that's just not realistic. That's not, what's happening in this market today. So educating our sellers to help them to understand in advance what this process is going to look like and what we're seeing in the market. Right now, the market is changing, I would say on a day-to-day basis. Like, we're really having to pay attention to the market and what it's doing so that we can educate our clients and our community about, what's happening in the market. But for sellers, just education. Buyers, more education,
right,
and just making sure that people are fully aware of, what's happening in the market and giving them the best information that we have at that time.
For both buyers and sellers, what I'm hearing right now is knowledge is power. First thing that you can do to make sure that you're making a great decision is speak to an agent, speak to your loan officers, speak to at least go and check on your current mortgage. All of that information, all of that knowledge is going to allow you the information to make a great decision for yourself, because as much information as we give you, your situation is not going to be the same as your neighbors or your friends.
That's true.
So you cannot make that decision based off of the general information that you're receiving.
Right. So you made a point of saying to go and speak with your agent. I like to say start with your real estate professional first.
Yeah.
And the reason why I say that is because real estate agents by trade and by nature, we are connectors. So we know how to put you in contact with the people that are right for you. Just like all realtors are not the same, not all lenders are the same, not all mortgage companies are the same. So we like to have that initial conversation to determine which one of our partners do we need to partner you with based on what you shared with us.
Correct.
Not all lenders will offer down payment assistance. You mentioned that.
Yeah.
So we want to make sure that you are being partnered with the partner, the lender, whoever that's going to work for your best situation. Our job as realtors is to mitigate the stress as much as we can, and we do that by putting you with the right people.
Right. Absolutely. I guess we'll get into a few questions as far as What is that first step, since we're right there? We said that we definitely want you guys to speak to an agent.
Right.
What is your agent going to do for you within those first steps?
So what I like to do is what we call a buyer consultation, if we're talking specifically for a buyer. And that is to get to know that buyer. We want to understand what it is, why they want to purchase. Is this really the right time? Because just because you want to purchase, it may not be the right time for you. So we're going to look at everything. We want to understand, like, what are your pain points? Do you have the down payment?
Yes.
Do you need down payment assistance?
Right.
Then at that point, we can partner you with a lender who can get you the best information to help you to qualify. So that's going to be your first step, is to get pre-qualified or pre-approved.
Absolutely.
And then making sure that you have the monies for down payment, or if you're getting down payment assistance, we need to figure out which program you're going to qualify for and what makes the most sense for your particular situation.
This is not a generalization. Keeping it real, we just have to get in details of what your particular situation is,
Right.
what you're looking for, so that we can help you make the best decision for you. So
Yeah.
I think majority of the time, it's not going to be the right situation for you, because there's going to be details that may need to be accomplished before we can take that next step, be it credit score, be it the exact down payment, whether we prepared ourselves for closing costs or we found the right option for those scenarios.
Right.
Now, do we have the options to do so? Yes. Is it going to come overnight? A lot of the times, no. Now, I would say 70% of the time that would be the case. I think the other 30%, I just have those people who are always ready, such as they have their documents prepared, they have the credit approved, or the correct credit amount. They have the savings for both the down payment and the closing costs.
Right.
And they know exactly what they want. The other times I'm having to find myself educating my buyers or my sellers on what they need as far as improving their house.
Yeah, absolutely.
For sellers.
Yeah.
Letting them know what those fees are going to look like.
Right.
Where that break-even point is going to be.
Right.
So that we know, hey, cool. Even though we believe that we can sell at this point, the market is going to be there to tell us what that actual price of sale is going to be. So I think it's just more of preparing our people, as always, getting them the knowledge and just making sure we educate them on their particular situation.
Absolutely. Absolutely. One of the things that we talked about, you mentioned credit scores.
Yes.
So credit scores is a biggie. You know, it's really important to understand your credit and how it affects your ability to purchase or to really do anything. So, you know, we're going to help you with that process as well by putting you in contact with the right people. So I think that's critically important to understand that. And then on top of that, there are lenders that will lend to individuals or to families that have a credit score that's less than, 600. So, but that comes with other things like maybe a higher interest rate. So a higher interest rate will typically mean that your payment is going to be more. So there are so many different scenarios and factors that need to be looked at and considered when preparing to purchase.
Okay, I want to interrupt you because this is such a scenario that I came across.
Okay.
For our buyers who are waiting, I had a buyer particularly who has a 740 credit score.
Nice.
They have the savings,
Okay.
but they are waiting until they get the 800 credit score before purchasing.
Yeah, no. So what's your conversation with them?
So my conversation has been, what are you expecting as far as the value from increasing that credit score?
Right.
And so after looking at it, it doesn't change your interest rate nearly as much as what you think.
Exactly.
And I think that whenever educating these buyers, they're expecting that jump in credit score of 60 points to save them $100 a month.
And it doesn't necessarily always translate in that way.
It does not.
Yeah.
And majority of the time what I see is, hey, If you get the home now and you increase your credit score later on down the road, there may be the opportunity to refinance or go back and speak to your mortgage officer and still lower the interest rate based on the improved credit score that you have.
Right.
Yes.
But then keeping that in mind, that if the average the average interest rate is 6, then you may not want to refinance just on the fact that my credit is better,
Right.
so I should be able to get a better interest rate. That may or may not be the case. I mean, those are factors that you really gotta pay attention to, because what's going on in the market may not necessarily translate into savings.
Okay, yes. So this is a point that I like to point out to all of my clients. If you are not comfortable with your real estate professional, it is very hard to have real estate success. That real estate professional can help you purchase a home, they can help you sell a home. But there are so many factors, obstacles, and pieces of information that you need in the in-between and meantime of you having a transaction in real estate, that if that professional is not helping you out, you cannot be successful, or you can't maximize your success in that situation.
Right.
So I think that it is very important to be comfortable with that real estate professional.
And not only be comfortable, but have a certain level of trust.
Yeah, that ongoing relationship.
Right, it is a relationship. Yeah, it is a relationship. It's got to be more of a relational transaction. It can't only be transactional. It can't only be business.
Right.
Because this is a huge investment.
Right.
And if you're treating it, just like, okay, it's just another purchase, then the experience is not going to be as great.
Right.
You're going to figure out that there are things that maybe were missed because the communication wasn't there. So you definitely need a trusted advisor. You need somebody that is willing, to spend the time with you. And some of our buyers are slower than others.
Yes.
And so they may need a little bit more hand holding.
Mm-hmm.
So understanding, the professional that you have decided to partner with, you want to make sure that it's somebody that you do trust.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. I think where my brain goes to, and the experience that I go to, is I had one buyer, and I would call him and he would let me know that the house was doing great, he was doing fine, the family's doing great. And then he approaches me about selling the house. And I get there and I'm like, hey, you just had work on your gas line. Yeah, I spent $5,000 on my gas line. And I was like, hey, why did you spend $5,000 on your gas line? That doesn't really make a lot of sense. Oh, somebody ran into it. Okay, that still doesn't tell me why you spent $5,000 on your gas line.
Gas line, yeah.
Oh, well, I just paid the money. So why didn't you use insurance? I didn't know insurance would cover that.
Right.
I was like, okay, so why didn't you call me? That was the whole reason I kept calling you every quarter of the year to get this type of information from.
Right. And I think that's, you make an excellent point.
Yeah.
I think as real estate professionals, we have to always be letting our clients and in our sphere of influence know that we're realtors. We are. But we are also a resource.
Right.
And when they understand that, hey, I'm the resource, so you call me for anything.
Yes.
And if I don't have the direct connection, then I'm going to put you in contact with somebody else that does.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm going to ask around. I'm going to be that advocate for you. But I think a lot of people don't even understand the role of a realtor. Right. So, you brought up a previous scenario. I had a client that I helped them to purchase a home. When it came time for them to sell the home, they were like, oh, we went with somebody else because we didn't know that you did that.
Yep.
On that, just in that simple, and that was where the light switch turned on for me, is that I need to make sure that I communicate that I do all of the real estate things. I'm here for all of your real estate needs and beyond, because you may need a financial planner.
Yes.
Well,
I'm here.
Yeah.
I have the relationships to get you with a great financial planner.
Absolutely.
Me and my sister, I need you to call me if the tile cracks.
Yes.
I need you to
Yes.
call me if a shingle blows off.
Right.
If you just wake up in the middle of the night and you get a bad dream about your house, I need you to call me. I need it. Yes.
I mean, it's true. I mean, we want to be that trusted advisor and resource for our clients.
Yeah. I mean, and it really does help me out as well, because with us out here networking, you never know who I may come across to help you out with your current obstacle.
Right.
I had one client who needed a particular type of vendor. The pricing that they had coming in had been extremely high, but yet with me, I'm an agent as well as an investor. So there's certain relationships that I will come across that
Right.
other people aren't going to come across, that other agents may not come across.
True.
But I was able to get a whole house replumbed for 15 grand when this gentleman was getting quotes at 35 grand and 40 grand.
And it's all
Please.
about your connections.
Please let me use my connections.
Yeah,
Please,
absolutely.
please let me use my connections to help you out and make sure that I give you the best experience over the lifetime of your real estate experience,
Absolutely.
and not just on the Friday.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So we've talked a little bit about buyers. We've talked about that first step. For buyers, I think overall we just want to make sure that you guys know that you can reach out to us. You can contact us for any of your real estate needs and be outlined.
Please. All right. As we're moving on, I know that we've touched a little bit on what sellers need to sell their home, being that they need to get the home prepared for selling, making sure that it is presentable for buyers. And then as we move along, what are some of the big cosmetic things that you're seeing that sellers are needing to make sure that they do? Because I mean, I know that for me particularly, I know that you're doing Matterport on every listing.
Yeah.
I know that you're doing certain photography, whether that be staging or virtual staging.
Right.
But what are some of the things that our sellers are having to spend money on before we're getting them on the market?
I would say first and foremost would probably be landscaping. So like actually getting a landscaper to come out and manicure the yard, and because that's the first impression of your home.
I think some of the ladies are going to know what I'm talking about.
Yeah.
Because man, even on my flips, this is one thing that I have experienced as far as growing within being an investor. The landscaping plays such a big part that
It's huge.
oh my goodness, sometimes I get frustrated with some of my landscapers because they don't quite understand what I'm talking about.
Right.
It's a balance in between how much you're spending on the home versus the curb appeal.
The curb appeal is just as important as the inside of the home.
Yes.
And now you may have a seller or even a buyer say that, oh, it doesn't matter, I'm going to be inside of my home. But I mean, that's pride of ownership.
Right.
So
Absolutely.
when you can walk up to your home and it's, well manicured and it looks good, the yard is cut, that's important. Your shrubs are trimmed.
Yeah.
So, I mean, that's critically important to me. And I think that that's a conversation that I have with every single seller.
Yeah.
That's one of the conversations that I have. Like, no matter what, we need to get to landscaping, we need to get pops of color.
This is a pain point for me.
Okay.
So I have clients who feel like, hey, if you can't do your yard, don't do your yard. That's a pain point for me.
Yeah.
And I think it's been family members majority of the time. And it comes down to a situation where it's like, oh, well, instead of me trimming the bushes, just cut the bushes out. No. That is not the correct scenario. That is not the correct look that we are going for.
Right.
You do not want the front of your house looking like a blank canvas.
Right.
We need to see some of the abstractness and the feel of you and what
And
this
a
house
home.
can provide for the next owner.
Absolutely.
That curb appeal is everything, and then sometimes it just seems as if some of the homeowners are just taking all of the character from the front end of the home, which leaves it with no curb appeal. So maybe in one of the future podcasts, we can actually do some tips and tricks on the landscaping. But pro tip number one, don't cut everything down.
No.
Do not cut everything down. That is not the right answer. If your uncle, your daddy wants to do that, you leave them at home. Go back home. We're not doing any of that. Yeah.
I mean, and you brought up a point, like if you're not a landscaper, then hire somebody.
Right.
It may not be a good use of your time to do landscaping. You have some people that enjoy landscaping. They enjoy it. They love to mow. They love to, make the curb appeal something that is amazing. Right. But then you have other people that just don't have the time for it.
Right.
And if you don't have the time for it, I think that that's an opportunity for you to hire someone else.
Right.
That can do that for you, that they actually love it. Most landscapers, they do it because they enjoy it in some, form or fashion. But definitely landscaping, I would say, is, an important factor. Always looking at kitchens and bathrooms when we're listing, because those are, important places in the home, that sometimes need to be updated, or we need to do something to, spruce it up some. And what does that look like? How much is that going to cost?
Right.
Absolutely. So, and it all sometimes boils down to cost.
Yeah.
We have partnerships that can help with, doing some of that pre-listing stuff in advance.
Pro tip. So I know that Char has educated me previously on a lot of contractors that will allow us to pay for those services at closing as well.
True.
So whenever it's a situation where we know that we have the equity within the home, but we may not have the cash on hand,
right,
that has proven to be a great solution so that you can get top dollar for the house and make sure that you're pulling out the most equity.
Right. And that's really important, because you want your home to be seen in the best light possible.
Yeah.
And that may mean doing some, upgrades or, some things before it actually goes to market, so that you can get that top dollar.
Absolutely.
But yeah, we do have partners that will help you with that. So contact us, and, if that's something that you're interested in, contact us. We want to help you with the real estate transaction.
Absolutely.
So
to the DMs, please.
Yes. So curb appeal would be one, kitchen, bathroom would be another, and then just overall decluttering of the home and understanding that this is the way you live, right? And then this is the way the house shows, and understanding that we want there to be a difference. Right? We don't want how you live to show up in our pictures. We don't want how you live to show up in the regular showings. So when we tell you to put everything away, that is, cleaning off those surfaces so that a buyer can truly imagine themselves and their things in the home. So a closet, I even tell my sellers, let's declutter the closet. Let's take some of the things out of the closet. Because if I can't see my things in a home, then what are the chances that I'm going to purchase that home? So that's something to consider too. So those would be my top three, just things that I know that I have to talk about over and over again.
Absolutely.
And there's others, but those would be the top three. Yeah.
Absolutely. Okay. Let's go over, what does an agent actually do for sellers?
Ooh.
Okay, I got 4 points on this one. We got marketing position.
For sure.
We have negotiating and marketing.
For sure.
Network exposure.
Exposure is everything.
And then adapting to market shifts, which we're seeing a lot of, right?
Absolutely. And being able to communicate that.
Yes,
so not only
absolutely.
Adapting, but then we need to be able to communicate, hey, this is what we're seeing in the market.
Right.
I had listings that I've had to do comp analysis on like every other week, just to see what's going on, what's happening. Has anything sold? Is everything still holding? But not only being able to adapt, but then communicate that.
Right.
I think that's critically important as well.
Absolutely. I think even now with us seeing the market shifting from more of a seller's market to a strong buyer's market, that there's still even pockets of the Metroplex that are still a seller's market, because those homes are still very rare to be sold within those neighborhoods.
Absolutely.
And if you don't have an agent who is aware of that or capable of communicating it, like you said,
Right.
it's very hard for you to adapt and understand how to position your house within that market.
Absolutely, absolutely. So you brought up the 4 points that are really important that agents do for a seller. And I think this really goes for both the buyer and seller, but we are that midpoint. We are the one that handles the entire transaction.
Yes.
We're the center of it. So if you think about an octopus with many arms, many eyes, you know, so that is what an agent does. So we're the nucleus of a real estate transaction. And believe it or not, real estate agents can make or break a transaction.
Absolutely.
Right? So it's about how we communicate, and not only communicate to our clients, but we have to communicate with the title companies, with the lenders, with contractors,
with other agents.
So there is so much more that is not even talked about. Like, yeah, those are the 4 critical things that an agent does, but there are things that are done behind the scenes that you can't really get receipts for.
Right? What? Oh, yes.
I can't get a receipt for being on the phone with the title company because we're trying to work out, you know, something that's showing up on title.
Right.
You don't get a receipt for that.
Names, clearing off title.
Exactly.
Working to get your contractors into a vacant home, or even working with the other agents to make sure that their clients can get into the home.
Absolutely.
Yes, it's a number of different things.
Absolutely.
Goodness.
Absolutely. So that, I mean, and that's why it's important to understand the agent that you're working with. You want to know if they are well connected. Right? You need a well-connected agent. You need a full-time agent.
Right. You mean your cousin? Still houses a year?
No.
That don't work? No?
And listen, it could work. It could work. I'm not saying it, no knock against, you know, a part-time agent.
Yeah.
No knock against that. But you want somebody who is educated, who keeps on top of, you know, their continuing education, and which you have to do in order to keep your license. You want somebody who has that experience, because every single transaction brings a brand new experience.
Right.
No two transactions are the same.
Right.
I learn something every day.
Yeah.
With working through these transactions, and you don't do that if you're doing 1 or 2 deals
a year.
You just won't get that.
You can't.
And you cannot be in constant communication if real estate is your part-time side hustle and you have a full-time job.
It's 2 different educations that you're receiving at that point. And I think a lot of the education that we get is being around the few hundred agents that we get to see every week.
Yeah.
And that allows you to have osmosis. You're hearing the stories, you're hearing the solutions.
Absolutely.
And you're hearing the horror stories as well.
And what not to do.
Yes,
right.
Absolutely.
How do you avoid that? Yeah.
Absolutely. So if you're a part-time agent, it is very difficult for you to get that information and to protect your client from those horror stories and give them those above and beyond experiences that you've heard about or that you've given other clients.
Absolutely. And then also, you know, in addition to not working with a part-time agent, but you need to work with a agent who is with a company that has a good reputation.
Shout out to CB Apex.
Apex, yes.
Absolutely.
Yes. So that has a good reputation, not only for just to have a good reputation, but a reputation for training the agents. You know, when I served as a manager, I would get it all the time, how, you know, the other side really enjoyed working with an Apex agent because they're just so well educated. They know how to write contracts, and all of that is important because that shows up later. You know, it shows up later, and it could, you know, not show up in such a good way. So, but yeah, like you said, shout out to CB Apex for, you know, providing us with the tools and resources necessary for us to conduct business at a high level for our clients.
So I want us to brag on ourselves just for a bit. So tell us a little bit about you, Char, as far as some of the accolades that you have, some of your experiences within real estate, and what makes you the broker agent that you are?
I would say, gosh, there's just so much. I can just say that I have been blessed beyond measure to be in, real estate as a whole. I don't know if you even knew this, but when I got into real estate, I started as a part-time agent.
Mm-hmm. Okay. No, I did not.
So what I thought I was going to do is I thought that I would get into real estate and do exactly what we just talked about. I would just sell, help my family members do that on, just whenever I could. It was a hobby.
Yeah.
Well, once I got into real estate, I realized that this is really, encompassing. It requires a little bit more than what I thought. No one had really educated me. So 6 months into me having my license, I was laid off. Our entire department was laid off. And I love my job. I worked in corporate human resources, doing corporate recruiting. Loved it. Loved it. Had no intentions of quitting my day job.
Right.
And so I had a decision to make, once that happened. Do I get back into another corporate job, or do I make the decision to go into real estate full time?
Yeah.
I called my dad. And I was like, Daddy, I think I'm going to do real estate full time. And he was like, go for it.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. That was all I needed, because I wanted to be able to have somebody to go back on and say, hey.
Oh, you made a bad decision. You told me the wrong thing.
Exactly. or if I wasn't making enough money, Daddy, I need some money to pay these bills.
Smart. That was very smart.
You said, yeah. So, but anyway, fast forward to today.
Yeah.
I think I have been just really, really blessed. I'm so glad that I made the decision to, one, go into real estate full time. Because I've been blessed to meet so many amazing people. That's number one. I've had exposure to so many amazing people, so many opportunities. 5 years into me having my license, I was approached about managing. And, when Lori approached me, I'm like, are you sure, Lori?
Yeah.
Most of our managers have 20 plus years of experience, and she believed in me. She, said, no, you can do this. You can do this. And so having that opportunity to manage, 100 plus agents for 5 years, that was amazing as well. And I will forever be grateful to Lori for giving me that opportunity, because it also allowed me to see transactions that I probably would have never seen.
Yeah.
Right? As an individual agent, I got to see a lot of different scenarios, a lot of different things happening, which I think helped to make me a well-rounded agent. So I really am appreciative of that, being able to manage. I've served on several boards for real estate organizations, and was a top producer, and now getting back into it from the sales side of it, the managing side of it. I'm just really excited. I'm excited for, the trajectory and where we're going, and just looking forward to many, many more things. We have a 10-year anniversary coming up, so excited to be able to celebrate a decade of dedication. So
most agents don't make it past year one.
Yeah.
70% of agents will quit before year one.
Yeah.
Hopefully you're not working with one of those agents.
Right. So you want to make sure you give it someone that's well connected. My personal mission is to connect, collaborate, and cultivate. And so what I mean by that is, connect with, the individuals, connecting with industry professionals and experts, connecting with our clients, connecting with our community, collaborate. Let's, collaborate to, what is it that you want? We want to bring our resources with your resources and collaborate to make something amazing. And then that cultivating is just that, cultivating amazing experiences, cultivating, amazing partnerships. So I really, really live by that. And I think that I've been truly blessed in being in real estate, and I love it. I love what I do.
Absolutely.
How about you? Tell us something about yourself.
I didn't even want to be an agent.
Wow.
To be quite honest.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I was in it to be a real estate investor, and I think that at the time, a couple of people had suggested that becoming an agent could be a little bit more stable than being an investor. What I found is that, hey, each side is going to have its pros and cons. I love the agent side because of the connections that I get to make with other real estate professionals and people from other industries as well. And I actually love being able to help somebody accomplish the same type of investments that I am accomplishing as a real estate investor. Even if it takes them a tad bit longer, I love to see the client call me back and tell me how much equity they have, and that they appreciate me for pushing them to make a purchase whenever they felt that they couldn't even do it, or that it wasn't even on the forefront of their brain. And 2 months later, they purchased their home, or 6 months later, they purchased a home, and 3 years down the road, they're amazed at the decision that they made and how good of an investment that they've made. That has kept me in the agent industry. But initially, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to be an investor. I wanted to flip homes. I wanted to rent homes. And I wanted to just make a ton of money, right? What I found is that after becoming an agent, that I think it warms my heart just to be able to help people increase their credit, purchase multiple homes, educate them on how to become how to build their wealth and how to build their legacy, and become the investor that they see me as well. I've done over 20 flips.
Nice.
I own, I believe, 8 homes right now. That number does fluctuate month by month. And I love that portion as well, just from being able to manage and negotiate and use the skills that I've used as an agent for my own personal gains as an investor. So I've been doing this for 10 years. As an agent, I have had many accolades of being one of the top agents in the office under a great manager. Yes. You know. So, I mean, it's been a great road, and I appreciate all of my clients from in referrals, be it from family, be it from friends. I appreciate people attending the events, us getting to enjoy each other, from the beer pong to the educational, the first time home buyer seminars, to playing spades, playing dominoes with my previous clients, to even just being able to sit there, have a cup of coffee, and walk through the obstacles that they're currently going through.
Absolutely.
So,